Hey, this is Lucas with Pro Archery Ballistics. I'm on the Android version of the app here, and I wanted to talk about building your data with marks or pin gaps. So I'm on the page here in the inputs page. We get there by toggling this toggle on the inputs and clicking build data with marks. That gets you to this page. You can choose whether that is site marks, and you can choose a target style site, or you can use pin gaps, and you can choose the sites that we have in there. If you do know the velocity, you can enter a velocity, and then we only need one gap measurement. If you don't know the velocity, we need 2 gap measurements. You can choose whether this is in meters or yards for your inputs. Now, we still need center of arrow to center of peep at full draw, which is here, and we need the sight radius, which is pin to center of peep while at full draw. We also need arrow mass, and then you need to choose 3 distances. It is recommended that you do as close to a hole distance as possible. For example, don't do 30.25 yards, do 30. You can enter this in yards or meters, so when you toggle this to meters, it is expecting a meters value. We recommend starting at nothing closer than 30, and 20-yard gap between is preferred. You can make these farther, though, so that you can make this 60, you could make this 90, for example. If you're shooting a fast arrow setup, I would even recommend starting at 40 or further, just because the miss of a 1-yard miss at 30 yards with an arrow that's going 300 feet per second is very, very small. And it's very difficult, I would say, for most shooters, with the exception of high-level pros, to even notice that difference. So just the farther you go out on these, the more accurate it's going to be. That being said, you also need to be able to shoot an accurate group at that distance. So that's why we started at 30, 50, 70. Generally, most shooters that are shooting something in the 280 to 290 range are going to be very good in there. However, 30 yards, if you're a little bit over 290, starting to hit into that 300 range, I would recommend 40, 60, and 80 would be good to start. Add 10 yards to each of those. These gap measurements, so make sure you do select your appropriate site. That is important. And then when you're measuring these gap measurements on a wheeled surface, like a spot hog, for example, you're going to want to put tape along that wheel, mark those locations, pull the tape off, lay it on a flat surface, and then take your measurements. That will get you the correct arc length around that wheel to put in here. So that's how you do it on here. Just wanted to touch on a couple questions that I've had. I hope this answers it. If you guys have any more questions, reach out anytime. Always here. proarcheryballistics@gmail.com. You can reach me anytime. Instagram at proarcheryballistics, or even a comment here on YouTube. I try to be as quickly as I can respond to you guys. So thank you for all your support. Any questions, let me know.